I have with me Adesewa Oyinloye, a two-time founder of a non-profit and a for-profit agency, communications agency. Anything communication, storytelling, she is your girl. Branding, she's your girl. And take it from someone who has been working in marketing and campaign management for the last, say, 6 years. I know when someone is good at their job, so trust me, she really is. So don't worry, at the end of the podcast, I would let you know where you can find her. Anyways, we're here to explore our journey. I mean, from being a microbiologist, right, to starting a non-profit, to actually starting a communications agency. You basically wear different caps. A non-profit founder, a communications agency, that is the creative space, all right, and the STEM part, that's the sciences and all of those things. And I think it's very intriguing and amazing, because you would not think that all three of these industries can kind of coexist in one person. Right? I think it's very amazing. Well, every single time people find out what I studied in school and they find out what I currently do, they're always very surprised. And I keep telling them, the fact that I studied this in school does not mean that I do not have so many sides of me, right? There are so many layers of me that exist. And
I was also surprised when I found out your course of study.
Oh yeah, I studied aquaculture and fisheries. I don't mind it. Like, my mom actually has a fish farm, a proper fully functioning. Yeah, so she was really excited when I got the course in the first place. She assumed that it was going to be some. I mean, I know how to do so many things on the farm. I know how to hatch. I know how to treat fishes. I know how to do all of these things. It's not just something that I think I'm going to pursue full time.
Right. One of your several enterprises.
I mean, eventually. Well, please, farm work is a lot. I do not think that I have this.
But you will have staff now.
Okay, yeah, that's true, Sha, that's true. I mean, it's something that I've definitely considered. I've considered it, but let's see. We don't know what the future holds.
Yeah, sure.
Right. My mom will be so excited if I tell her that I want to have a farm. She would even volunteer to help me manage it. She would volunteer to help me manage it. But yeah, I think that people often forget that humans are way more than their qualifications, right? They are way more than their qualifications, and that is something that I want to explore. There are so many things that shape out a human being: the environment where you grow up, the people that surrounds you. So let's talk about it, right? I believe that we were not just, like, God did not just drop us on earth as full-blown human beings. We started from somewhere, right? And I want to know, because I saw something on TikTok yesterday, and it's a mother did a content around our twins and how they are very different characters, and someone in the comment section said the amazing part is that babies do not outgrow babies often do not outgrow the characters that they exhibit. For example, if a child is quiet, or if a child used to be a quiet child as a baby, they would most likely grow up to be the quiet adults, right? Or if a child used to be the very active, restless child, they would most likely grow up to be the restless and active adult.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in how you grew up. What was your childhood like? What was that like for you? What was growing up like for you, basically?
Okay. So I have a twin brother. I am Tai, and my brother is Kelly. But I like to, for my personal brand, I like to use Adesewa. So when I got to university, like my primary school, secondary school, people call me Tai. Although some people start calling me Adesewa in secondary school. But when I got to uni, I'm like, Tai is not that modern. Let me use Adesewa. So I started wearing Adesewa in uni up until now, and people always surprised when I tell them I have a twin brother. And just like you said, twins are different. Like myself and my twin, we are totally and completely different people. For example, now I'm the more social more social media savvy person. But my brother is not like that. He rarely posts on his page, and because his work does not need him to be on social media, so he's not. But we have so many differences. And growing up, I was a shy feels like a tongue twister. I was a shy child, and also I was always in the good books of people at home, in school. Like, I was always in the good books of people. But honestly, when I grew older, maybe that was when I started entering the bad books of people. Because I started to be more, and one thing human beings do is limit you. They don't want you to outgrow who you currently are. So I was a shy child. I was always taking everything people were doing for me. If my parents say I should do this thing, I will obey them. Like, I can remember when I was going to SS1, and were to choose the class we're going to go to, maybe science, art, commercial, technology. And I've always wanted to do something in media. I was thinking maybe that time I'll be a journalist, but I really wanted to do something in media because I'm really good with words. Like, when I was even in junior school, I got an award for best in French, best in English, right from primary school. So I wanted to be in the art space. So I remember I told my parents, and my dad is a journalist. So I was thinking that he would even support me and ask me to be a journalist. But that day, that evening, I can remember my lesson teacher then, he asked me to kneel down. I said I should be begging my mom that I'm sorry for saying I want to go to art class. I'm not going to say what my mom said, but what she said really, really broke me. And it's not something that a mother should say to a child. So I grew up like that, always having to obey rules, always having to do even the things that I don't want to. Even when I wanted to learn a skill, I can remember I was in secondary school during holidays. I wanted to do something, and they still said no, that I should be doing the house chores and everything. So I grew up being caged, not a physical cage, but I grew up being caged, being restricted, and it's even when I became an adult, they wanted to use it to, like, even when I started to become more outspoken, when I would say I'm not doing this thing, if they want me to do it, or they will say don't do this thing, and I will still want to do it, they started to have issues with it. So human beings always limit you. They don't want you to outgrow that part of you that they can control.
Yeah.
So I was a shy child, and at the same time I was a very curious child. At my age, I knew a lot of things at my young age. Like, my dad really helped us because he was always buying us books. He would take us to the library, Kwara State Library, and he would ask us to read. Then he would wait for us. Downstairs, because if you know Kwara State Library, should I call it a story building? But there's more than one floor. So he will wait downstairs. My twin brother and I will be reading upstairs. Then we will come down. He will buy food for us. Like, it was a very, very enjoyable phase of my life. I remember also when when we're waiting for our driver to come and pick us from school, I'll be sitting. We had a mango tree then in my primary school, and I'll sit under the tree and I'll be reading storybooks. Like, I was a very curious child, and I feel like that's what even influenced my path in communication fields today, because my work, ever since I graduated from uni, the jobs I've been getting has been centered on communication, not even project management, communication. So I was a very curious child, and I was also intelligent and smart, and I was always, from primary school to secondary school, I was always the best student. They don't have to be the CEOs of my NGO. They don't have to say they want to do NGO or be in communications field. I will allow them to do what I know God wants them to do. So when I got to senior class, I started to drop because I'm not good at mathematics.
Oh my God.
I'm not good at mathematics. I can remember I took some graduate training assessment and I failed. Wow. I'm not good at maths, but I'm only good at English and all of those things. So chemistry, physics, I was struggling, and those are the major subjects in in science class, maths, English, physics, chemistry, biology. I was passing biology. I think I was always even like the best in biology there. So, but the major course subject, maths, physics, chemistry, I was not passing them, so I dropped. And by the time I graduated, I was not even part of the top 10 students anymore. I was already low. So when I got to uni, I can remember my friend wanted me to study medicine, and in my heart, I never wanted to study medicine. I don't like hospitals. Even till now, I don't like going to hospitals. I'm currently on medications, and I always have to go to the hospital every month to do tests. But whenever I'm going to the hospital, I don't like to see blood. I don't like to see someone throwing up, all of those things. I don't like it. It just messes up with my body. So I don't even like hospitals. So I was not going to study medicine. Then fortunately that year, University of Ilorin, they increased their cutoff mark. So I think 260 in JAMB for medicine. And that time I had 253. And before the year before I wrote JAMB, the cutoff mark for medicine was 240.
Wow.
So they increased it to 260. And thankfully, I was already praying to God even before I wrote JAMB that I don't want to study medicine. I was praying to God, even though I did not have, I just felt like it was out of my control. So after I did not pass, my parents said I should do pharmacy. They just wanted me to do a professional course. And I can remember the time I said I was going to go to science class. The reason I chose to go to science class was not because I wanted to, and it was only because, and what came to my mind was that if I just wish I had guidance then. But my parents even went to report me to school that I must go to science class, so I'd never be safe. But I can remember the one thing that made me go to science class was, I was like, if I don't get a job in the future, my parents will blame me and say it's because I studied. I was in art class. That's why I did not get a job. And guess what? Everything is right today. Because even my NGO job that I do, I still get them referring to it that someone close to me even said that I'm in a spiritual bondage for wanting to like build a career in the development sector. So close to me, the closest person to me, the closest person in my family. So it really broke me, and I can remember that was why I made the decision that I was going. So just imagine if I didn't even go to science class, and right now, the time I started my NGO, and I was laid off from work and everything. I know they would still go back and blame the art class. So that's why I went to science class, and in the science class I dropped. Then when I got to, they asked me to do pharmacy when I did not meet the cutoff for medicine, and I was still praying in my mind that I don't want to do pharmacy. So by the time I got admission to study microbiology, and I've always been a good student of biology even in secondary school, so I was excited to do it. Even though people were saying like when I was in secondary school, people used to talk microbiology. Microbiology is a good course. Medicine, pharmacy, all of those professional courses. So even when I got microbiology, I did not feel bad, but I was still remembering the words that my classmates used to say, that as if it was a lesser course and everything like that. I studied microbiology, and I came out with a second class upper. I could have even gotten a first class, but when I was in 100 level, I was not serious. Like, I was distracted. Because I had been restricted all my life. When I got to 100 level, I became distracted. I just wanted to explore. I just wanted to have male friends and everything like that. So 100 level, I did not really, I was not serious with my academics, and I had to do chemistry and physics in 100 level. So I passed every other thing, but that chemistry and physics, I had D in my academic serious. I took my academic seriously, but when the foundation has been destroyed, what can the righteous do? And I got to final year. I was not thinking that my final year results would like boost them. My 300 level, I had a first class in my 300 level.
Wow.
But my 400 level, I was thinking that my results would boost, and maybe I'll be able to enter like first class. But when I collected my transcripts, that was when I saw that I think in some courses, the chemistry related courses I did in my final year, because we did industrial microbiology, and that one, I think industrial microbiology involves something around organic chemistry or something.
Yeah.
In short, the ones where I had to do calculations, I did not really pass them well. But I still ended up with a second class upper. But I wish, and my journey, after I finished school, I was still not sure what I wanted to do in my life. The NGO was not part of it was not part of my dreams. It was during ASU strike. I was like, I don't want to be doing makeup. So I've tried so many things in my life. I've sold shoes. I've started catering business. I was selling all these chops. So I've done different things. So at that after strike period, I was also learning makeup. I was in a makeup school. So I'm sorry. I feel like
please go ahead. No, go ahead, please. Go ahead. This is the point of the entire thing anyways.
So I was learning makeup, and I can remember I was not making money there. Like, I was learning makeup. I was always following my boss. But my boss is a very, very good man. Very good man. So I was always following him for makeup on clients, and like, it was just not something I enjoyed. Like, I would come back and I would be tired, and I would have to stand all through the makeup period. And makeup takes time. Like, you can do makeup for 1 hour, 2 hours, and you'll still be standing. So, and I would still have to clean up and everything. So it was not something I enjoyed. And I can remember my friends were already making money, and I was still collecting money from my parents. So I was like, I now texted my friend that day. And I was like, if she has any job, she should let me know that I want a job. That at that time, what was even on my mind was that maybe I'm going to do a waitress job in a restaurant, maybe in ShopRite, Kwara State. That was what was on my mind. I was like, I'm ready to take any job as long as it's legal. So I told my friend, that's how she now said, okay. A few days later, she sent me a link. She sent me a screenshot. It was someone on a contact list. She knows the person. The person wanted to get a programs coordinator for NGO. So she sent it to me, and she asked me to tell the person. I texted the person who later became my very first boss, and she told me her vision and her mission, and it was something related to teenage pregnancy. So it was something I was interested in. I was like, oh my God, I really love this. So I bought into the vision immediately. She told me. So that's how I took on the job. And the pay was low. This was like 2022. And people were earning more. The pay was really, really low, and the pay was not consistent. I was paid, should I mention the price? But I want to use it to just make a point. I was paid 5,000 naira as salary in a month, and it was not consistent. Like, I was not paid every time. At some point, I even had to use my money to do things. I had to use my parents, because my mom used to be a teacher before she started working somewhere else, but she used to be a teacher. So I used my mom's connection, using my auntie's connection to be able to get access to schools, to get access to pharmacies, because I had to be dropping letters. So I really took that work to mind. I treated the NGO as if it was my NGO, and even till today, I don't think I've invested so much commitment to HCC the way I was committed to that NGO day. I treated it like my own, and unknown to me, I was building capacity for my future. I did not know then, but I did it happily. And till now, me and the woman, we are still in communication. Even when I want to make applications, she still writes reference letters for me. So we had, like, I really enjoyed my time there. I learned, and when I went for NYSC, that day I was so I'm the kind of person that I thought okay. So in primary school, secondary school, those were the times I made friends. But university, I had like only 2-3 friends. Then when I went for NYSC, I did not have a friend at all. I only had one person I was talking to, or two ladies I was talking to then. Then I was, that afternoon, like people were gathered and I was just sitting alone under the tent, and I overheard some ladies talking in front of me, and I was disturbed by what they were saying. I just felt uncomfortable I felt uncomfortable about their outlook towards life. So that day I felt a prompt in my spirit to create a WhatsApp group. And before then, Jesus Christ, my story is really complex. It's really complex because a lot of things happened to bring me to where I am today. Because I also had to become born again. And in 2020, I knew that I wanted to do something meaningful with my life. But I was not where I was supposed to be. I just knew that. And because of the kind of background I came from, I was seeking for male validation. Like, my friend even sent me one of my pictures, one of my throwback pictures that time. Like, if you see my former social media before it got hacked, like, you need to see the way I used to dress. Wow. Very explosive dressing. So I did all those things to get, like, just to feel good and just to get the attention and validation of men. So that was the state I was in. So I knew I wanted better with my life. So my friend created a WhatsApp group, and it was the Purposeful Ladies. I joined the WhatsApp group, and one day she sent a book, Understanding Your Potential by Miles Monroe, and I read it. And while reading it, Miles Monroe said that for you to know what God has called you to do, for you to know the assignment you have, you need to have a relationship with God. So I can remember I knelt down while reading the book and I surrendered my life to Christ. So if nobody preached to me, I did not have a supernatural encounter or anything. It was, I read a book and that's how I became saved. So after that I started to have dreams. And in the dreams, I'll see myself fighting for people. I'll fight, and I told you that I used to be naturally shy, and I used to take whatever people did to me. Yeah. So in dreams, I was a bold person. Like, sometimes I would fight for people. Then their oppressors would come down. They would come to me and they would kneel down. Ooh, and they would be shivering in fear. So I had those dreams several times, and God, and also the story of Moses just kept coming to mind. And one way God speaks to me, apart from dreams, is through the scriptures and or sometimes through thoughts. If something keeps coming to my mind, I have to pay attention to it. So Moses' story kept coming to mind, and the part that kept coming to mind was the part where God said where God was asking Moses what was in his hands. And to Moses was holding a wooden staff. To Moses, it was a rod. To Moses, it was like normal stick that they used to control their flock or their herd. Yeah. But to God, it was something like, it was a tool that God was going to use for miracles. To God, it was a tool for Moses' assignment. But Moses did not see it that way. And that was the rod God used to part the Red Sea and to do other miracles. So God kept highlighting that part in my heart, and I kept wondering that what could be that, what could be that thing I have that I have overlooked, that I didn't even count it as anything. So I kept praying, and when I got saved, one thing I noticed was that I started to write, and whenever I write anything on my status, the day I choose to write something on my status, not for cruise, not for anything, the day I decide that I want to maybe teach someone or just do something, see, up until now, I always receive feedback, and positive feedback, and it's not feedback of you inspire me or something. It is I have 2 or 3 people that my writings are delivered from suicide. So serious matters as serious as that. I've experienced it with my writings. So when that happened, writing came to mind, but I did not put it to heart. Then my friend texted me. My friend from secondary school, he texted me, and we had not been speaking up until then. And he texted me and he said, God said you are going to write from your personal experiences. And I was happy. I was like, oh, God said I'll write from my personal experiences. But unknown to me, I never knew that for you to write from your personal experiences, you will go through fire. You cannot have experiences to write about if you don't go through challenges. So I did not know, but that was the confirmation I needed to know that my writing was a gift. So when I was already writing on my status, and at some point I started the letter the ACC. So I was always posting it on my status, I don't think I posted it on my story, but I was always posting it on my WhatsApp status. So when I went for NYC and I heard those ladies talking, I was just disturbed, and God prompted me to open a WhatsApp group. That night I created a WhatsApp group. The following day I asked people to join the WhatsApp group. And I named that group ACC because nothing was coming to mind. It was only the name I was using to write letters that I used. So I created the group ACC, and people joined. And that period, that was the beginning of something beautiful in my life. It led me to start my NGO, and it has brought me to where I am today. And I'm grateful to God because my path, I never predicted that my life would go this way. I never knew that it was a career. Like, you can say I want to build a career in the development sector, because what people are used to is medicine, engineering, law, accounting, tech. But I never knew that you could build a career in the development sector and be flourishing there. So I'm really grateful to God for guiding my path, and my life is just a series of like accumulated inputs of different people at different points in time. So different experiences that brought me to where I am today, and I'm really, really, really grateful, because the girl that was that used to be shy, the girl that could not talk, the girl that used to take everything from people, I'm not the same kind of person now. Now I'm not shy to speak to people, because my work involves speaking to people, speaking to the crowd. So I had to become bold and confident and improve on my public speaking skill to be able to like talk well in public. And also now I'm more firm. It's not your own duty to change how they think of you. As long as you're doing what is right, as long as what you're doing is in the will of God, you are going to know, you yourself will know when what you're doing is wrong. You will know when your motive is wrong. You will know when maybe what you are posting or what you are doing is as a result of pride. Your conscience will prick you. But when you know that what you are doing is right, you are not supposed to be bothered about people's opinion of you, because if you keep considering what people say of you, you're not going to move forward. Apart, when I started my NGO, they told me not to start. My family told me not to start. When I started writing, my family told me not to write. But those things, I knew that those things were right. They were not wrong things. And I went for it. If I had not started writing, if I had not, that NGO job, they told me not to take it. Because it was small. If I had not taken that job, I'm sorry, there's no way like I'll be sitting here today to speak on your podcast. There's no way. You will not even know me at all. Because I refuse to let the opinions of people, like, and the thing is, they can be very protective of you because they love you, but someone can be protective of you and take you out of the will or out of God's will for your life. They can push you out with their love, with their overprotective love. So you have to be able to, at a point in time, you have to grow up. You have to stand on your ground. And I hope you're right. Especially if you have parents that are not really supportive. You have to be stubborn in a good way. Be stubborn is not that you should be a bad child, or you should rebel, or you should be a bad person. But you have to be stubborn. You cannot achieve anything in this life if you are not stubborn. You must be a very tenacious person, very resilient. You must be dogged. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's dogged or dogged.
I think it's dogged.
You must never turn in the towel. You must never give up, and you must be the kind of person that you chase after what you want. Because if you are the kind of person that easily accepts no, if you take no for an answer easily, you will not get anything done. So you must know when someone is speaking out of overprotectiveness or when they are speaking from wisdom. Because sometimes love can look like it is wisdom when it is not even what God wants you to do. to respect people, honor people around you, honor your parents, honor mentors, honor people. But remember that they are humans. And the person you should listen to first is God. Like, what does God want for me? What does God want me to do? Is it at this time He wants me to do it? How is it at this point in time? Am I supposed to be building capacity for it? Am I supposed to be like praying and fasting? Am I supposed to be reading books? Am I supposed to be volunteering? Like, all of those things, you should know them, but don't let people's opinion of you. Listen to advice, listen to correction, but at the same time, don't let people's, in the name of trying to seek approval, in the name of trying to seek advice, don't let people talk down on your dreams. Don't let people talk down on your vision, because at the end of the day, like, you're accountable to God.
Yeah.
And if you want God to say, well done, my good and faithful servant, you must do something with what God has placed in you. People will always talk. They will tell you not to do something. They will tell you that you are doing too much.
Oh my
they will
God,
tell you that your dream is too big. They will tell you that what you are doing is too small. It is too big at your age. Why are you doing all these things at your age? Are you not 23? Are you not 24? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this thing at your age? When I wanted to do my conference, my former mentor, that's like when you want to choose mentors, as much as we want to be submitted to people, don't choose mentors based on emotions. Like, don't say because I like this person, I want them to be my mentor. Don't do that at all. Be sensitive with the spirit, be discerning. Ask God, should I submit myself under this person? Because if you are with the wrong mentor, you would take their advice as what God said.
They will change the course of your life.
Sorry?
I said they'll change the course of your life, basically.
Yeah. So when I wanted to do my Angel Force conference last year, this woman said I should not do the conference. She said my book, why am I writing a book, and all of those things. But I still went for it, and I'm the kind of person that if I'm with you, you will know that I don't take no for an answer. Especially if I know that thing, that's what God wants me to do, I'll go for it. So I still went for it, even though that was the beginning of the relationship with my former mentor's training. A lot of things that be happening there, but I did that because I knew what God wanted me to do. That book I wrote, that conference I did, it opened doors for me. Even the book I wrote. I have an interview with Channels Television this year. I postponed it, but I have an interview with Channels Television this year where I'll be talking about it. So just imagine if I'd listened to the opinion of people. Just imagine if I'd listened and did not start my NGO. I did not write. I'll just be living based on people's opinions, and I would never be fulfilled. And even when I finished school, I was like, I don't want a government job. I don't want a government job because I just felt it was restricting. Even though it offers you security, it offers you security that some other jobs will not give you.
Exactly.
But I knew that I did not want that. I knew that I did not want that. So I told my parents from the onset, I said, I'm going to pursue a career in the development sector, and I want to build my NGO, and I don't care. I'm going to continue working with other NGOs and other development bodies till I have all the money to take my NGO to the next level. So, and I'm grateful to God because God opened doors. When you set your heart to do a thing, God will make doors open for you. So when I finished school, I never had a time where I had to, I was, where I did not get a job for a period of time. Even though this year has been, quite tough for me, I still know that I'm going to rise. I'm going to rise. And I know that if I want to get a job today, I know the people to call. But those areas are not where I want to be in. That's not where I want to be in. So I'm grateful to God for always directing my path, for always for always disrupting my plans too, not only allowing me to do things, but also stopping me from doing things. And one thing I've realized in the kind of work I do, and with your calling, you have to be like very sensitive of the relationships you have. I mean, friendships, romantic relationships, and your relationships with people generally. You have to be sensitive, and you have to be very discerning. And because even like when I posted on my story a few days ago, I still knew that it was God's protection, because I've had ever since. Imagine from university, God keeps saying no, wait. And the one time I decided to go against what God said, I saw like I reaped the consequences of my disobedience.
Yeah.
So even when God is saying no, when God is saying wait, still believe him. You don't have to understand why he's saying no, why he's saying wait before you obey. Still obeying regardless. And later on you will see the reason why. There was one person that I was in a talking stage with, I think in 2021, 2022. And or 2021, 2022, yes. Then God told me no. God said no. And God said no. The day I was going to say yes to that guy, God said no. And I obeyed God, and later on I discovered the reason. The guy was a scammer.
Oh my God.
It's not that he tried to scam me, and the people I was following, it checked through, and it scammed my cousin.
Oh my
God. He wanted to scam two of my other friends too, because he texted them.
Oh my God.
Just imagine if I dated someone like that. I will now be associated to, if he now commits a crime, it's me that will be joined to him. I also discovered that he was gambling.
Oh my God.
That he was a gambler. So just imagine if I dated someone like that. Then last year, the one time I chose to disobey God, I entered into a relationship I was not supposed to enter into. God told me no. God used two people again to tell me no, and to tell me to wait. But I disobeyed God. I was like, this guy has everything I want.
Oh my God.
He has everything I want. And the guy always paid attention to me, paid attention to details. I would give him that, like, I would give him that compliment because it's true. But I went ahead, and it was later when I discovered that he was even dating someone else before he dated me.
Oh my God.
He was dating someone and I was the side option. I was the plan B. I was not even the plan A. I was not the main chick. I was the side chick.
Oh my God, can you imagine that?
I'm seeing God's protection. Sorry, what do you say?
I said, can you imagine that? Men can be very terrible people sometimes.
Yes. Let's imagine you had like gone ahead with that. And one thing I also learned last year is that don't try to help God process is when God gives you a prophecy, when you get a word from God, don't try to process how it will happen. If God says you are going to do something that will take you out of Nigeria, that will take you abroad, and you will travel around the world, you don't try to help God to plan to figure out how you do it. Let God. It should not be your headache. Like, let God do it. For me, I took control of this fear. And I drove into a tree. And I was bruised. Last year, it affected my assignment. I could not show up at ECC. Even till now, I'm just trying to return back to ECC. I've decided that this July, no more. And God is really faithful, because the week of my birthday, God sent words to me and he said, I've forgiven you, forgive yourself, and go back to what I've asked you to do. So like 3 people said the same thing. God said, forget your past, and that at the end of the day, I'm accountable to him, and he's not going to say because of my emotions I could not carry out the assignment he placed in my hands. And I told you before, I was having dreams that I was fighting for people, and I know that my assignment is really, really, it's beyond just doing NGO work. I know that having an NGO is beautiful, but I know that my own is a ministry, and I'm not doing it because I want the recognition that comes with it, or the money that comes with it, or the goodwill that comes with running an NGO. I know that my own is a calling, and I know that if my spiritual life is affected, ACC will be affected. Like, it automatically spreads to it. So God sent me words the week of my birthday and told me that I should forget the past, and He has forgiven me, and I should forgive myself, because that's one thing I struggled to do after the whole thing. After I disobeyed God last year, I struggled to like get back to God, because I felt like God told me to do this thing. I got two instructions from other people, but I still went ahead and did what He told me not to do. So I felt really disappointed at myself. I stopped praying. I stopped going to church. I felt like I was not qualified to talk to God. There was a day I wanted to pray and I wanted to ask God for something, and I could not. I said in Jesus' name, and I could not say any other thing. Guilt rushed in. I could not say any other thing again. It was afterwards God sent His word that I should forget my past and I should focus on the assignment He has placed in my hands. So that's why we cannot, like, we as NGO founders, as women in ministry, because I believe that if you're a believer and you're doing, even if it's in the secular field, even if the work serves like unbelievers or people of different religion or different faith, like, you are still doing ministry as long as you submit it to God. So I believe that relationships, especially romantic relationships, have an impact on your assignment.
Yeah,
if you miss this, yes. You're saying something, sorry.
Now, I was agreeing with you about how romantic relationships have major impacts on your assignment and your purpose, like a lot.
Yes. If God forbid someone misses it, like, it's going to automatically affect what God has placed in your hands. So I'm always thankful to God for even the heartbreaks. I'm always thankful to God for the rejections. Even when I thought, like, even when I thought the no, and wait, God has been telling me since university days. Even when I thought it was because I just felt like God did not want me to enjoy the benefits that came with a relationship. The one time I disobeyed Him, I knew what my heart for, because it affected me. It was after that I had to start therapy because I was broken.
Oh my God.
My blood pressure went high. It really went high, and I can remember I went to the pharmacy that day to check my blood pressure, and the pharmacist said I should go and do scans, I should do ECG. I was like, why would you tell me to do ECG scan? Like, why? So I did not do it. That was like, I think around October, till December, the last week in December, when I slept, I started to have shortness of breath, like I would not be able to breathe at night. And I also noticed that the distance I used to walk before, I could not walk them again. And I'll be walking on the road and someone would have to hold me so that I would not fall.
Oh my God.
December that happened. January 1st, I went to the market, and as I was coming back, I just had to tell the driver to just like drop me, like let me offload everything in the car. Then I pulled in to take me to the hospital straight. I got to the hospital, and that was the beginning of my diagnosis. I had to January this year. I had to do different scans. A lot of money went into that. Different scans, different tests, and the painful part of everything was that I was exposed, because some of these scans you would have to be exposed. So I just felt like very terrible in January. I felt alone because I've been alone here in Abuja without like anybody. I don't have any single friend here, no single friend. So it was just like I was alone, going through all those things, going through the scan. And when the result came out, I was given my diagnosis, and that was when treatment started. I had to be placed on medications, which I'm still taking, and a lot of things happened after then. But just imagine, I knew that if I did not like enter that relationship, first thing, my health would not have been triggered. Well, I'm so thankful to God because it made me discover Lenny. But I would not have been triggered. I would not have felt, and a lot of things happened again that January, because the relationship thing had to resurface again with my ex. So I was going through a lot, family relationship, jobs and everything. But all, I'm still grateful to God for still like keeping me standing. And I know that at some point in time, like I know that I will have to go through like challenges and everything, but I'm still thankful to God for keeping me standing. Even when I was like going through all those challenges earlier this year, I still like helped a lady, I think in May. I still helped a teenager in May who wanted to commit suicide.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm very grateful to God for like helping me to support that girl. I'm really, really grateful to God, because even me, I was thinking of committing suicide. But when my younger sister reached out to me about that girl, I knew I had to talk with her, because I know how it was. Like if you continue to accommodate suicidal thoughts, you are going to act on it. So I had to like talk to her, and I'm grateful to God because she's stable now. And I'm really, really grateful to God. So firstly, what I would just say is don't look for the approval of people. Follow what God has called you to do. Follow His instructions. Also, be mindful of the relationships you are in, the kind of friendships you keep, the kind of romantic relationships you keep. Just be sensitive to God. And one thing God had to like help me do was when I became born again, all the friendships I had before then with my male friends, like it was as if there was a disconnection. Like there was a separation from us, and my identity changed. I started to dress well. I knew that even though I'm the kind of person that I like to wear off-shoulder clothes and all of those things.
Yeah.
Now I no longer dress to attract
for the male validation,
men, but just make me. Yes, and if you are the kind of person that you always like dress to attract men, they will objectify you, and that's not like a good place to be in, because it's just like, I'm not saying men are supposed to be objectifying women, but if you constantly present yourself in a sexual way to someone, they will start to have like sexual thoughts to themselves. So you have to like be mindful of the things that you do, and the way you talk to guys, the kind of conversations you have with them, the kind of dress you wear. Dress well, like dress the way you want. Dress the way you want, but at the same time you should not like dress according to God's standard. And when you dress because you are doing it for yourself. Even if you are doing it for God, you are an ambassador of God, and also because you are doing it for yourself, not because you are dressing to attract someone. And that was something that had to change with me. I had to stop dressing that way. I'm going to send a picture to you afterwards, but I used to wear really, really short skirts, and all my thighs would be showing. And that was the kind of person I was, and I attracted the kind of person. When you don't have good values, you attract the wrong kind of people. You attract like-minded people like you, and you'll be on their level. But I can tell you that since when I became born again, the quality of men I've been meeting are different. Like, they are totally different from the ones I've been meeting, the ones I met before I was born again. Totally different. The kind of conversations they have with you is totally different. They respect you. They don't objectify you. They don't see you as someone to have like sexual conversations with, and all of those kind of things. So God had to like change my identity. I had to stop putting, even though I put effort in the way I dress and everything, I had to stop putting my identity based on how I looked, and I started to invest in myself at some point in time, because I was all about like pleasing guys. I was like, oh my God, I don't have big boobs. I don't have big boobs, and I was like, maybe I should go and buy enlargement.
Can you imagine that?
Because I was I was so concerned about. I just wanted them to see me as someone hot.
Wow.
So
I think that
that day I found that I had online, and glory to God, glory to Jesus. I did not have money to buy it. I did not have money to buy it. So that was the only thing that stopped me from buying like that product. If not, I was willing to go to the extreme just to satisfy men, just to make them see me as someone
desirable
of value. Right now, I don't even have to say what again before a guy will know that he has to respect me. Like, I will not talk much again. I don't talk much. I don't even say anything. The kind of men that come to me now, they are different men. They are men of substance, men of quality. So I'm grateful to God for that. And everything that I have today was all because of God. God gave me the confidence I needed to be able to stand my ground and to be able to run the assignments He has placed in my hands. And I'm also grateful for all the people He used in my journey. I'm grateful to God for my friends because they really stood by me. And even when I was doing stuff, even though I had male friends that were like supporting my bad attitude, I had female friends that had good values, and that's one thing I'll forever be grateful to God for, because it was my friends. Like, every time I have to talk about my success story, I always mention my friends, because they were the ones that they pushed me towards becoming who God has called me to be. And that's why it's always good to either keep like-minded people like you, who have got good values, and also try to have people that are higher than you, people that you admire.
Yeah.
I know that in our age, people might not like appreciate. There is this thing called peer-to-peer mentorship. We always think mentorship is only for like someone older than you, and you think you just submit to them. Like, there's also peer-to-peer mentorship. If you put your mind to it, if you remain humble, there are a lot of things you can learn from your fellow friends. And I really appreciate you for calling me, because I know that we are in the same age range, and for you to like think of me, I don't take it for granted at all. But there are a lot of things you can learn from like your friends. And if you remain humble and if you remain teachable, you would learn a lot of things from them. And it was my friends. So my friend that sent the book, it was my friend that I saw that this lady, I saw that she was a perfect role model. The lady is just 1 year older than me. Just
wow.
1 year. But she is a perfect role model. Even till now, I see her as a role model. We were classmates in school. And I still see her as a role model because she mirrored the values I wanted, the kind of woman I wanted to be. I saw it in her, and I became friends with her. Today, she's one of my closest friends. I became friends with her because of the qualities she had, and I started to tell her about the things I wanted to do, and she was always supporting me, even when I got opposition not to start writing, not to work with that NGO. This lady said I should do that. I should start writing. She told me to start the NGO job and everything. Like, she was there. So God blessed me with real friends that stood by me, and I think that's one thing we should always pray to God for the gift of men. If you have the gift of men, they'll be able to lift you up even when you are down. Like, my friends are, I like to call them the physical expression of God's love on it. Even when I was having suicidal thoughts, I still thought of my friends. Like, I thought of my friends that, if not because of anything, but because of these people, let me not make them sad, let me not do anything to myself. So I'm really grateful to God for them, and I'm also grateful to God. Right now, my parents have they've come into acceptance. Even though in Nigeria, I don't know if it's a Nigeria thing, but I don't think people see NGO, even young people like us, they think if you are running an NGO, they think you don't have money.
Yes, oh my God.
They think you don't have money.
Someone quite literally told me.
I think it's one of the stereotypes being an NGO founder.
Someone quite literally asked me when I started my non-profits that do I want to be using my life to beg. Mind you, I've never done public fundraising because I don't really like it. I don't like the image it portrays. I remember one of my team members for a particular project that we wanted to do at the time, I think last year, and we really needed money. It was okay, we wanted to start the community center and we really needed money for a lot of things. So my team member said we should do a public fundraiser. I had already spent all my savings on it. And I remember my team member saying we should do a public fundraiser. And I remember telling them that I don't want to do a public fundraiser because I know the kind of perception that it presents to people and I do not want people to be talking to me anyhow. Because if somebody talks to me anyhow, number one, it will pain me. Number two, I will stay my own back. And it will not be good. And I remember someone that I looked up to that day telling me that, do I want to be using my life to beg? Oh my God, I felt so hot. And I remember calling my mentor, and you're right, your mentors play a huge role in your life. I remember calling him that day. And I called him to, tell him something else. And as soon as he heard my voice, he just knew something was wrong, right? And he asked what happened. I didn't want to tell him. And I just started crying. I just started crying on the call that I explained everything to him. And he said something. He said, Boluwatife, give it 2 years of your life, right? Give whatever. I see the vision, but people might not see the vision. Like, people might not see the vision, right? Not everybody will be able to carry your vision the way you would be able to carry your vision. And he said, give it 2 years of your life and see how it turns out. If after 2 years you fail, then you would know that you've given it the best, right? You know that at least you tried. And nobody would be able to tell you that you did not try.
Amen. You can never fail.
Amen.
It's affecting people's life positively. God will never let it go down.
Amen.
God will lift you up. God continues to lift you up.
Oh my God.
Up and up and up.
Amen. Amen. Because, I felt so bad. Now they've come around. My parents are really excited about the entire thing. I got my first international opportunity in January. Right. Unfortunately, I could not go. They booked my flight twice. They booked cancelled and booked cancelled. I could not. But that's by the way. I remember sending a very long, angry voice note to my dad last year, and I'm very grateful for that, man. That's why my siblings kind of think I'm the favorite child. I do not agree, but they think I'm my dad's favorite. I'm my dad's favorite. I remember sending a very long, angry voice note to my dad last year and telling him that my siblings are very model citizens, including me. I can tell you that I'm the most stubborn child of all of my siblings. We are 5, and I'm the most. And whenever I tell people that I'm the most stubborn child, they look at me and be like, "You do not even have any sort of vices or anything." Like, yeah, basically a model citizen. So when you say you're the most stubborn child of your siblings, I'm trying to imagine what your siblings would be like. My siblings are very obedient, law abiding, and all of those things, right? And I remember sending a very angry voice note to my dad, telling him that I've been in the university. I studied a 5-year course, but with ASU strike and all of those things, I've been in the university for the last 6 years. I've been working for the last. I started working when I was in 200 level in the university. I was working before I got into the university, but I started building a career in marketing when I was in 200 level in the university. And I remember telling my dad that all these years, you guys have always been proud of me, right? And you know that this is something like I've always been the child that would do what I want to do. There's nothing you want to say. Oh my God, if I want to do it, I will do it. I do not even care. I do not care who you are. Even if you are the president, you are the king. I do not care who you are. As long as that thing is what I want to do, I will do it. There's nothing you want to say about it. And I remember telling my dad and sending a very long, angry voice note to my dad that you guys have never had a cause to be ashamed of me, right? You guys have never had a cause to say anything. Like you never had a cause to say or bye, and I'm not happy about it, right? You guys have always been proud. Now this time that I now decided I want to follow a path that I think I want to follow a path that I'm really passionate about. How come you guys are not supporting me? And how come you guys are not, supporting me? And I remember my dad responding and saying that it's not as if they don't support it. It's just that they understand the challenges that comes with it, and they're trying to protect me against it. And I told him that you should be confident in the fact that you've raised well-rounded adults, right? I think only our last born is still a child. All of my siblings are grown-ups. I think our second to last born is already 18, so, and he's already in university and all of those things. Only our last born is still a child. So I remember telling my dad that you should be confident in the fact that you've raised model citizens and you've raised us enough. You've raised us with good values that you should be able to trust us to go into the world and do the things that we want to do. I think he probably had a conversation with my mom. I don't know what transpired between them, but I realized that they kind of pulled back from telling me, oh, this is what you want to do, this is what you should do, this is what you want to do. I remember telling my mom not to call me again. I told her she should not call me again, she should not text me again. And if you know my mom, oh my God, my mom is the kind of person that would wake up in the middle of the night to tell you she loves you via text. My mom is very, very affectionate when it comes to expressing emotion. So me telling her to not call me again, me telling her to not text me again is like I'm basically pulling out her heart. I knew that was mean, but exactly, it was like I was pulling out her heart. So about the opposition thing is just something. I think it's a common thing with development workers, right? Development workers. I don't know why, but people kind of just see it as a job that is not exactly prestigious. It's something I've been trying to wrap my head around, because I don't think that there is any other job that is even as rewarding as working in development, because you get to work with so many people. In fact, the experiences I have had in the last couple of months that I've been working squarely with the communities, it has basically changed my entire outlook on life. And I genuinely wish a lot of people would understand the fulfillment that comes with it. Whenever I'm thinking about working in the development space, I do not even only think about my non-profit alone. I think about the fulfillment that comes with it. I do not even think about the money. I remember getting two major non-profit roles last year that I could not take because I could not leave the community center just yet. Right? And I remember turning it down. Someone who was interested in the money would have, left it and said that, oh, this money is a lot of money. And I mean, it could literally change my life. I would drop it and go. But I still stayed. My non-profit is not paying me. I'm spending all my money, right? It is literally not paying me. There is no money there. So when people think that, oh, we are doing it for validation, it's just very wild. It's a very wild assumption, like a very, very wild assumption.
Some people will break.
Oh my God.
They can't do it
though. At all. It's a lot. And it's amazing, right? You basically answered the origin and environment questions, the people that shaped you, the specific moments that made you who you are, and it's a very inspiring story, to be honest. I realized that a lot of becoming comes with a cost. Like for me now, becoming who I currently am meant detaching from friends, because trust me, I've in the space of 1 year I've lost friends, so many friends. Becoming who I am, becoming this version of myself as means I've had to let go of jobs. Imagine I was telling my brother-in-law about the jobs that I did not take, and he was surprised. Imagine losing two major, I'm talking jobs that pay as high as 7 figures in naira per month. Imagine losing jobs like that, because you just know what you want to do. Exactly, you just know what you want to do, and it would seem stupid to a lot of people that it's still the same sector, right? But it's not exactly what it is that I want to do. Imagine doing something just for the gratification at that moment. Exactly. So it has cost money, it has cost relationships, it has cost what's it called? It has cost comfort. Oh my God, I could be in Lagos right now in my parents' house. I'll not have to spend money on rent. I'll not have to spend money on food. But I'm here, right? I'm not in Lagos. I'm not with my parents, and I'm spending my money on rent, and I'm spending my money on food. So it has cost comfort. Like it has cost a break in your identity. You literally have to break and remold back again. Let's talk about what it has cost you. What was the cost that you had to incur along all of this?
Okay, I think one of the things, I don't know how to phrase it well. I'm not going to call it a disadvantage, but let me just say it. I think one of the things is that because of the kind of assignment I have and the impact of my marital life on it, I've had to always be in a waiting season 4 years. Like, I started school from 2018 to 2025. That's like
almost 10 years.
That's like
8 years.
No, so just 2026. So
yeah,
that's like 8 years now.
Yeah.
Imagine having to wait for 8 years and God is saying no every time you find someone.
Oh my
so
God.
That's the one thing I've had to deal with, like having to wait. If I was not interested, like if it was the whole me would not be interested in doing God's will. But because I'm just so keen on doing God's will, I've had to wait for this long, and that means I don't enjoy relationship benefits, like all the gifts and everything. Sometimes I just want to I am so big on self-love and everything. There was even a time I was always I used to go out for solo dates on my own. But honestly, every human, whether we say it out or not, we crave companionship. It is something humans need. So I've always had to crave companionship, and so I've not like enjoyed what it means to like have companionship for long. I've not had that experience. And also, I think one of the covenants I made with God is that sexual purity. I'm not going to be involved in stuff and everything. I said since I became saved, that was one thing I made as my consent question to God. So I think that one too is part. I had to let go of pleasure. I had to be disciplined. I had to be self-controlled, because I know if God forbid I should do it, I know that it's going to affect my assignment, and I don't want to be in that space. So I've had to let go of that. I've had to deal with loneliness alone. I've had to deal with loneliness alone, being alone. When you're going through all the time, I was going through stuff in January, going through stuff last year. I was alone. Like, I was alone. There was nobody to run to. Even if I told my female friends and everything. But there's a kind of like companionship you have when you are with a partner. Like, it's different from friendships. I appreciate friendships, but there's a kind of like
they all do differently
by your partner. So that one is different. So I did not have that. I had to go through stuff alone, and I love it because God made me to see that is enough for me. And God had to like detach my identity from being in a relationship and from men seeing me. So I really appreciate God for that. It was not easy going through stuff and you don't have anyone to pour your heart to. There's no one, like my friends care about me, everybody, like people I know care about me, but there's a level of care, there's a level of attention and care that your partner is only your partner that can give to you. So that care, that attention, I did not receive it. So I had to deal with stuff alone. And I'm very sure that if I had a partner, maybe I would not have had pronounced suicidal thoughts like that. But it was something I had to deal with, and God still made me stabilized. Another thing I had to let go of because of my assignment, or another thing I had to deal with because of the kind of work I do, is that I've received insults. It's not even insult of maybe you are stupid, you are foolish. Deeply, like,
oh my God.
deeply rooted or deep-rooted insults that will get to you. Yes. Imagine being called evil spirit, being called being called names, and from your family, from people you love. And I can remember this May, it was something that broke me because I had to deal with health issues and everything, and a lot of money goes into it. A lot of money goes into I spend nothing less than 100,000 per month just trying to get medications. So I can remember someone close to me, a relative, she told me in May that which man can marry a girl like you that is spending this amount of money, is going to run away, like even she went, and because of my diagnosis I lost weight. I'm not as as chubby as before, even though I still look like physically okay. But I lost weight. So she was not like, even people that are fine. And because I was going through depressive episodes, depression, I'm sorry, but depression will not allow you to even do the basic things.
Yeah.
I stopped bathing. I stopped to take my bath. I stopped to eat. I stopped going out. Like, I was inside all day just crying on the bed. So I was going through depression. But anytime I wanted to go out, of course, I would take my bath, and I had to push myself to take my bath and to do all those necessary things. But it was showing on my body. It was showing on my body that I was not happy. So this woman said that even people that are fine, that like ladies that are fine, that they've never gotten a partner, how much more you? Like,
that is so mean.
And they were comparing me to someone else. So some of my relatives that were saying this, and they were comparing me to someone else that used to do hookup. And they were like, if you stand beside that, even though you're age mates, yeah, you look younger, you look young, you look like a younger sister. So I had to deal with that. And they also said, this is one last thing, they said that at your age, men are supposed to be coming to your parents' house to be asking for your hand in marriage, but do you have anyone? Nobody's coming. Like, I'm supposed to pray against spiritual problem. So I had to deal with, like, I was like, God, when I got home, I was crying and I was telling God, I told God that if I want to have a partner today, I will have a partner. I will just stick myself to it. It's not that I'm not even getting advances, because I've built myself to a certain level. I know that I attract quality men, so I can even like attach myself to someone if I really wanted it. And I told God that it's because I'm doing your will. It's because I'm doing your will, and I'm having to face all these things. So it's even more painful when it comes from your family, when they start saying all this work to you, because and I'm always the reason I've been so keen on doing God's will is because my assignment is so precious to me, and I'm not going to let like my own desperation for marriage or for a relationship to now make me take the wrong step, or to get into a relationship with who I'm not supposed to be in a relationship with. So I had to deal with that. I had to deal with hurtful words from people and family not even understanding what you're going through. And another thing that come with the work I do is that you always have to be strong for the people you're serving. Also the people you're serving may not even be really concerned about you. They may not really care. They may only be coming to you for what they want. When they need money, they will come. When they need encouragement, they will come. When they need motivation, they will come. When they need a shoulder to climb on, they will come. So I've had to also experience that. I had that feeling of being used by people, being used by people I really respected. Also, another thing I had to let go of is money. Like, money is one of the sacrifices I had to put into running my NGO. For me, I run crowdfunding, and thankfully to God, I don't get people like maybe saying insulting words or anything, because and the kind of blessing that I go return your money.
Like, please take your money. It's not massive. I'm spending your money anyways.
You're not dropping 2,000. You're now saying you will now be saying stuff.
Oh my
God. I don't have to explain that, because I tried, and I'm grateful to God because God gave me a job that could cater for my NGO. So even last year, I think I only crowdfunded once. Yes, I still like to put out flyers for people to support us, but most of my money, most of the programs we've done, they were self-funded. I had to put my money there. Sometimes the conference we did last year, and I had to share books for students for free. Like 70 copies of my book, over 70 copies, I gave it out for free. So it was all with my money. And after that period, I became broke, because I used all my part of my savings for it. I contributed a huge amount of money to do that conference. So I had to let go of money. I had to let go of that, and I thank God, because God doesn't leave his own stranded. It doesn't leave his own stranded. If you drop one to support that one that you are doing to kill people's life, what are you going to? It will pay you back. It will pay you multiple fold, and it's just like you are giving to God. Giving to people is just like you are giving to God. And you cannot give to God and he will not pay you back. It might not pay you back in money like you expect, but it will pay you back in other ways, and you yourself will be surprised. So I had to let go of money. And what other sacrifice did I make? What other sacrifice did I make? What other one? I think those are just the major ones I had to let go of. And also, I think another thing I had to let go of is wanting to do whatever I feel like. Now I see myself as someone that people look up to and people see as a role model.
Yeah.
So I try to comport myself. I'm not trying to adjust myself to fit into their box, but I try to control the things I do. I try to control the kind of posts I make or the kind of things I say, because I know that people are looking, and if they see me doing it, they can say because I've done it, they want to do it. So I'm always careful of that. Would I say that I have to let go of my autonomy? No, not completely, but it's kind of guided. Having to let go of my decision to just do whatever I want, of my desire to do whatever I want, it just guided me to making the right choices. So even when I want to do anything, when I want to see anything or post anything, I have to consider the people that I'm working with, because I have a community of women, and if I do anything, I know that they will see it. So they will see my post, they will see whatever I say. So I have to. That's why I have my personal Instagram story, because on my personal Instagram story, I can be myself, and I don't have to care about what other people think. But I try to just I still try to maintain my independence as a person, and not try to let anybody put me on a kind of pedestal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a leader, you cannot do everything. You have to be watchful because of the kind of people you are with. For example, I dyed my hair last year, and I did that to prove that I'm not boxed into anybody's opinion of me. But even with how I dyed my hair, I couldn't go to a secondary school with that dyed hair because of the kind of. I would not even encourage a secondary school student to be dyeing their hair. Maybe only if you are already in university and every other thing. But whenever I go to the school, I knew that I could not carry dyed hair to the school. Even for my conference, I knew I could not carry dyed hair to do the conference. I had to put on a wig for that conference. So all of those kind of things too. Those are the sacrifices I had to make with the kind of job I do. And also another sacrifice I made is that as someone was just trying to grow in their spiritual life and everything, now I know that every of my actions has to be centered on God's will. I know I always have to ask for counsel from God before doing anything. So that means I have to be a spiritual person. I have to pray. I have to be in tune with God to be able to hear Him, because you cannot hear Him if you don't have fellowship with Him. So it's another thing. I've had to put relationship into my effort. Into my relationship with God. It's one of the sacrifices I've had to make. So even when you don't feel like praying, you would have to pray. Sometimes I just have to. I carry the people in my community. I just carry them to God in prayers. I pray about them. I pray about their needs and everything. So it's another sacrifice I've had to make, because you cannot run this kind of work we do based on human flesh. If not, you're going to fail.
It would literally break you.
I've forgotten the word for, I don't know if it's twitch nose but I'm always smiling when someone say they want to start an NGO. People see, maybe because they see the flyers, they see you going to school and speaking. People just think it's something they can do, and they don't know that it is something God has commanded you to do, and it is something that you have to support in the place of prayers. You cannot do an NGO job, especially if you're a believer and you want it to move, you want it to truly impact lives, and you cannot you cannot have an
Episode.
because the oppositions, even if
Right.
they are not physical oppositions, like even in the spirit realm, delivering people, like giving people knowledge. Do you know that knowledge is like you are giving people liberty? When you teach people something, it's like you are giving them liberty. You are giving them the tool to change their lives. Knowledge is a tool to change someone's life. So if you give someone knowledge, you are changing their entire life. So someone that knows that, someone that maybe has been dating a student that's been dating a guy for money, you tell the students that they can, maybe you do skills acquisition for that student, and you tell the student that they don't have to depend on guys for money, and they can be self-dependent and reliant on themselves, and maybe you teach them tech skills, or you teach them how to bake or something like that. Don't you think that girl would have been delivered? Like, that's freedom. Knowledge is freedom. You are giving that girl freedom, so she'll be able to take charge of her life. And the devil's plan is to just make people go deeper in sin. So it's like a lost. If you give someone knowledge and the person uses it, so it's like a lost soul to the devil. So the devil will do everything to fight you, that you're even bringing this stuff, that you are bringing the freedom to people. So he will do everything to fight you. So you cannot do it you cannot do this work we are doing we cannot afford to do it
With your
with our
knowledge.
strength alone, because only if we're not keen on impact, only if we're not like really concerned about it, you are just doing it like that for the public, for public acceptance, that's different. But if we're really keen on the life that will be changed, we have to be so focused on building our relationship with God, because that's what will like fuel. It's like the altar. It's like the altar for your NGO. Some businesses, people in the traditional world, they use stuff to boom their businesses. But we don't even use charm and everything. Like, we are reliant on God, so you cannot afford to not be doing anything as a Christian. You cannot afford to not pray and just kabash
And let God
and set
lead.
it right in the spirit. That when you even speak a word to that student, their lives will be entirely changed. They will get the freedom that they need. Freedom from masturbation, freedom from sexual sin, freedom from stealing, freedom from whatever. So that's just it. I'm sorry.
I think that a lot of people just see the beautiful aspect of non-profit work and just assume that it is easy. I honestly cannot wait to be done with projects for this year. I am so exhausted and tired to the point that I honestly cannot take it. And it also does not help that there's also the pedestal that you spoke about. I have people coming to me and they'll be like, "Ma," and they'll be like, "Ma, don't." I had someone that I know that I'm older than this. This person is older than me, coming to me to tell me that they wanted me to mentor them. And I first look at him and look at them, and I was like, "Please, what exactly about me makes you think that I would be a very good mentor to you?" Because the fact that you'd even come to me to say I should mentor is just wild. And I've gotten requests like that, like multiple requests like that, and I'm just sitting and thinking, I do not think that I have portrayed myself to be someone that has enough substance to mentor grown adults, right? Teenagers, I can understand that. I understand how to deal with children in us, but adults, I work mostly with children from ages 0 to at least 18 years. I still see myself as a child, a 20 plus child. If you can imagine, right? The pedestal is very crazy, and it's something that needs to be checked, because the moment people begin to put you on the pedestal, you start boxing yourself, right? You don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. You don't want to make a mistake, and then you just find that the things that you're supposed to do, instead of it to fail in public, you're thinking, "Oh, what would these people say? I don't want to fold their hand. I don't want to let them down." But just do you. Really, people would adjust eventually. They would adjust. The people that are looking up to you would adjust. And besides, it will also let them know that failure is something that you cannot do without, right? It's how you take the feedback from that failure that matters. It is how you take the feedback from that failure that matters. Which leads me to the next part of what we are going to be talking about. Failure is something that you really cannot do without, right? I've always known that I was going to do something in the impact sector right from 2020, right? I just didn't know that I was going to do it like with as a founder. I'd always assumed I was going to work in the industry. Right now, if you had asked me, say, 5 years ago, I would have told you that my dream is to work in a very big corporation as their marketing person. Right? I've always dreamt of, being the CMO of a big corporation, maybe Google or Meta or something, right? And working in their marketing department. That is what I've always wanted. I love marketing. I enjoy doing marketing as much as it's a major trigger for me. Right? I love doing marketing. Yeah. However, I would not call my marketing career a failure because that is still what pays my bills at the moment. That is still what pays my bills, right? But it's not. It's definitely not the path I'm building on. It's not the path I'm building on. In fact, I've almost taken all of my marketing experience off my social. I'm beginning to take them off my social media because I do not think that it's something that I want to be really associated with for the longest time. Years from now, I do not really want to build my career identity around marketing. Business probably, but definitely not marketing. So so some people will see it as a kind of failure, but I would not. And there are times that I've sat with myself and asked myself if I'm really making the right decision. Imagine moving from an actual career, because marketing people will say marketing is an actual career, but development work is not an actual career, into something that is considered unconventional, and decided to build a career in something that is considered unconventional. It is wild. It is a wild decision to make. And there are days where I've sat myself down to ask, am I doing the right thing? I am constantly asking myself whether I'm doing the right thing. So has there been moments like that for you, where you've just sat down and asked yourself, am I even really doing the right thing? Right? Or all of these things is just in my head? Have there been moments of doubt where you've thought, oh my God, is this thing even going to work out? Trust me, people would not know that you worked hard. Your results would say how I would speak on how hard you've worked. That is why the result has to show. So has there been times when you've doubted that, will this thing even work out, and am I doing the right thing? And what has that been like for you? How have you dealt with this period? How have you dealt with the situation?
Okay. Yes, I've had I've had moments I thought I would be failure, and it happened on my birthday when I received the rejection mail. So I've been trying to, because of the kind of work I do, I've been looking to upgrade myself academically to be able to apply for better roles and in the development sector. So I've been trying to apply for my master's. I tried to do it abroad because I got a word from God, and I knew that I was going to do something internationally as regards to my education. So I started to put in efforts to application. I applied, and in fact, it was the reason I entered the wrong relationship last year. So I started to apply. I got admission. I've gotten 2 admissions so far, but unfortunately, there has been no funding to fund my education. On my birthday, I received a rejection mail for scholarship application, and this work, my master's that I got admission for is in sexual health and reproductive health, which is one of my thematic areas in my NGO. And before then, I got a research assistant role that we're supposed to do the final interview and everything, and the week of my birthday it was cancelled, so they stopped replying my mails and everything. And at that moment I just thought that Kimi, what's the essence of everything I've been doing? I have students that have been paying for their school fees from my pocket. It's from my pocket I've been paying their school fees since last year, first term, second term, third term. So why is it that when it's my own turn to now get scholarship to fund my own studies, there's no I'm getting rejections and everything? So I think that moment last week was my birthday. that moment last week just made me feel like a failure. It just made me feel like I've not achieved anything. I finished school 2023. This is 2026. It's already 3 years. I think this year would make it 3 years since I finished 2023, 2024, 2025. Yes, it's already 3 years. So, so I just felt like a failure, and also because my parents picked on it. My parents picked on it, and even though they were even like part of the people asking me to apply abroad and everything, that were putting pressure on me, they also picked on it. And at the time I lost my job, so a lot of things happened that made me lose my job, and I was really getting frustrated. I wanted to leave the job since last year, but I waited till this year, and even though my boss wants me back, but I'm like, I want a better place. But my parents picked on it and were like, you have finished school for 3 years now. So I needed money at that point in time, because I needed to do scans, because I've been doing scans since January. So I think it was May I reached out to them, because they had not been concerned about my health. So I reached out to them, and they were like, we have finished school for 3 years now, and I've never had to like ask for money since I finished school, because God blessed me, and God blessed me. So that moment, then after you have finished school since 3 years ago, you're not supposed to be asking for money. And they just said words that that broke me. So I've already even gotten admission to MIVA and everything. So that one is even different. But what I initially wanted was to school abroad for myself, because I feel like it gives you more prestige and everything like that. But that's just it. And I felt like a failure in that period, because maybe if I had support from family, I wouldn't feel like a failure. If somebody had to tell me that they are finished school for 3 years now, and they called me a beggar. Like, they did not sugarcoat it. They called me that. So I was crying that day. So it happened in May. So everything was just happening. So I felt like a failure at that moment, because it just seemed like nothing was working. I lost my job. It's my job I used to fund my NGO. I lost it, and the scholarship I was putting my mind on, it didn't work out. So, but I'm out of it now. I'm not even really disturbed about it anymore, because it's not a do or die affair for me to travel abroad, and at God's own time, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I've said I won't waste my time anymore, and this year I'm studying my master's in Nigeria, so I decided to look for an alternative. And I don't think we're supposed to dwell on. I feel like what we think are our failures. Instead, I think we should not take them as failures like that. We should not take them as failures literally. We should instead turn them as fuel to do another thing that is meaningful. And that's just where I am currently. I feel like that was the only time I felt like a failure, because I felt like I'd invested in other people, and when it was my own turn to reap like the reward of everything I've been doing, it felt like there was no help. So that has been the only time I felt like a failure in my work. And because I've also not been able to of course, I'm getting back to my work in July, so we'll start our project. But because I was not able to do projects the way I wanted to, I just felt like backwards. But at the same time, I love that everything is happening now, because again, God had to strip my identity of ACC, because I put all my identity to it. If something does not work, if something does not work at ACC, I'll be waiting. I was always concerned about the next thing. Would have not finished one project, I would have been thinking of next. I never rested. But this year, I feel like I had to get a mandatory rest from God. And I'm happy, because even right now, I don't even feel that way again. Before, I was feeling like I've not done anything with my NGO this year. We did only one program. So I felt like I've not really done anything with my NGO this year. But now I'm at rest. I don't feel pressure to always, and in our own field of work, you always have to do something, because if you are applying for opportunities, for example, they will give you a timeline of projects you should upload. So, and you will see other people too also carrying out projects. So imagine being in a season of silence in your own, or a season of rest in your own, and you're seeing other people doing great things with their NGO, and you are feeling like you are behind. So I felt that way at the start of the year, but right now I'm thanking God, because I know that even when I return back fully, I'm resuming back July. I know that even when I return back fully to ACC, I know that I'm going back refreshed. I know that my identity is no longer tied to the achievements of my NGO. And because I always receive compliments, it was as if I was living for those compliments. People always say that you inspire them and every other thing. So now that I've not been doing like much jobs, I've not done anything with my NGO. I've only done one thing with my NGO this year. I've not gotten a "you inspire me" message, maybe from only one or two people. But just imagine people just telling you inspire them because of the work you can put out. And when there is a season of silence or rest in your work, they now completely forget you and everything. The compliments don't come in like that anymore. Like, I think there is only when you have good news to share, that's when people come and say, I'm proud of you. But the real you, the you without all those achievements, they are not proud of it. So I'm just happy that I've learned to be content with myself, to be enough for myself in this period, and to also do without the praises of men. Because before I used to also carry out projects because people were always like commending me and everything. But now I already know how men are. Men, I'm sorry to say, but I don't mean men as a male gender. I mean both
male and female.
Genders.
I'm very excited about it for you, and I'm really glad that you're in a much better space, because if there's one thing that I've gotten very used to is learning how to shut down compliments, especially whenever I sense that it is becoming so constant. If I notice that someone is becoming the kind of person that every single time we talk, you're always talking about, oh my God, you've done so much, you've achieved so much, I'm so proud of you, all of those things, I tend to drive the conversation and the attention away from me, because I know how these things can make you feel. I know how these things can ruin your identity. So it is something that I've mastered, and it's something that I think that every single person needs to master as they grow in their careers. Because trust me, people would be in awe. People would be in awe of your achievements. People would be in awe of the things that you've done. You're the one that needs to know how to put yourself in check so that it doesn't get into your head. If you continue on this same trajectory and nothing changes, is there a next version of you that you can envision? Like, is there a version of you that you think would be better out of all of this? Do you think you'd be fine if you continue on this same trajectory, on this same path? What do you think? What do you think that the next version of you needs that you do not already have?
The next version of I would say is the technical expertise. Fine, I have the experience to do my work and everything, but at some point in time you would need you will need academic validation. You will need the MSc, you will need the PhD to be able to scale up, be able to scale whatever you are doing and move it to the next level. So it's that meaning, and I know that once I have my second degree, I know that it's going to really launch me into the next level. And also, where do I envision myself to be? Well, I don't know. That's a really, really it's a thought-provoking question, and so I always have answers to where do I see myself to be. But right now I feel like I just want to be in the center of God's will for my life, and maybe for ACC, I want us to, in the next 1 year, I want us to like have our own physical office. I want to have like staff, like employed staff that I'll be paying. Right now we do have staff and everything, but they are on volunteer basis. Like maybe when I have a project and I pay them a little amount of money, and I'm sorry, it has been self-funded, so I don't have like
I totally get it.
the financial capacity yes, to be able to pay, for example, a program manager like the right amount of money that he or she is worth. So I think I would envision my NGO to be in a place where we have a physical office, we have employed staff that will help, because I feel like it will even help us to scale even when I'm not around, even when I'm absent, and I have a staff that can take care of everything. So I think I see our NGO in that place, in the next one here, being able to pay staff, being able to, we have our physical office, people can come in, people want to run programs, people can come in, and our beneficiaries can come in, we can train people there. That's just the kind of, I would just say that's where I see myself and my NGO in the next 1 year. And for myself, I see myself already deep into my master's program. I see myself there. So that's just like my simple plan for the next 1 year. The next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I'm not sure of where I'll be by then. I know I'll be in a better place, but this specifically is not what I'm sure of yet.
I'm actually so excited for you, to be very honest. I'm so excited for you. I am genuinely so proud of you. And I know that I just spoke about people always giving compliments, but you do deserve your flowers. You deserve your flowers.
Thank you, boo.
You deserve your flowers. So I always like to end with a signature question. What are you made of? What are you made of?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say I am made of, I don't know if it's sound somehow, but I am a product of pain. I am a product of negative experiences that actually turned out well and made me better, and those experiences pushed me to where I am currently. So that's what I'm made of, and I'm also made of resilience, doggedness, tenacity, and yes, and I have a really like strong spirit. Even though I don't look like someone that is strong, I look like soft, but I know that I have a really strong spirit, and a spirit that does not accept defeat. I don't accept defeat, and I love that about myself so much. So that's just what I'm made of, and also I'm spiced up with Christ.
Right, very important.
And God in me.
Very important, very important. Thank you so much for gracing the podcast with your presence and your time. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. You can search Adesewa Oyinloye. I'm the founder of the Sissy Empowerment Foundation. So my name will pop out immediately. You search Adesewa Oyinloye, or you search for Adesewa, THE_SHEWA_. Then you can find that on Instagram, and same for TikTok, but I'm not really active on TikTok. Then on LinkedIn, you can find me on Adesewa Oyinloye. Once you search Adesewa Oyinloye, my name will pop up.
All right, that's amazing. That's a very big flex, by the way. That's a very big flex. Also, your agency, where can they find you in case someone wants to check it out?
Okay, Nova Free. That's the name, Nova Free. NOVAFRI. You just search Nova Free, you'll find it there.
All right.
On all Instagram and LinkedIn. Yes.
All right. This has been amazing. Thank you so much.